are live.
What's going on, y'all? Welcome to another edition of Deep Third. We say it every week. We're so glad to be coming to y'all. Last week was a bit crazy coming to y'all from the hospital. Man, this week we got some great topics. I'm not even about to hit a topic real quick. I'm just gonna say I hope y'all see that background. Um, the U just absolutely demolished Florida State this weekend. I'm hyped. I know Dante, if I need to pass you some tissues or something, Byron, if I need to pass you some tissues, let those tears keep flowing down from Saturday night. Hey, it's okay. But anyway, my name is Jarrell Burnett, coming to you from PA, but always Miami, baby. I'll let everybody else introduce themselves.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Fabe here. Yo, Jarrell, you forgot to tell the people, man. It's episode 10. Okay? We are at a milestone, my brother. We are at a milestone, people. It is episode 10 of the podcast. Thank you for everybody that's been here since day one. We appreciate all the support. And on average, most podcasts stop around episode 7. So we're at episode 10, so we've already beat the statistic, and we just gonna keep it going.
Yes, sir.
I'm DP, man. Appreciate it. Appreciate everybody jumping on. Appreciate everybody watching. Yes, Jarrell, you don't have to pass me no tissue. You can pass me an offensive line, though. I need that. Because yeah, Florida State, we don't got no offensive line. So y'all did that. Y'all beat us up bad. However, it's okay. It's okay. We got next year. We got next year. So well, hey man, let's go ahead and start this thing off right, man. Well, on a good note, the Tampa Bay Bucks won their second game of the season, so we're 2-1, baby. That much closer to make it to the Super Bowl. Mark my words, Tampa Bay going to the Super Bowl. We going to the ship. We going to the ship. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Anyhow, so our first question today. What are your thoughts on the Lakers making it to the finals? And second question to that, or part B to that, who do you think is going to represent the Eastern Conference, Boston or Miami, and why?
Oof. Well, listen, before we even started this thing, or before they really got into the playoffs, I picked the Lakers. I will say that I am pleasantly surprised that they kind of exceeded some of what I thought. They are a better defensive team. I thought they were just going to be, really an offensive juggernaut and, have some flashes. But, I think when they buckle down as a defensive team, you know, it's hard to beat. As going into the East, you know, we got Boston and the Miami Heat, um, Miami, Boston. I think you take your pick, and I think the finals is going to be fantastic. I think personally, um, this is not a what I believe, but this is a personal feeling. I really want to see the Miami Heat go to the finals. I really want to see LeBron play against the Miami Heat. His old team, Pat Riley, he deserted them in, I guess, in a sense. They were absolutely boo boo after he left. And I think the addition of Jimmy Butler has been just fantastic. On the other side, though, when I look at Boston, man, I think Boston presents a problem when it comes to the Lakers. Now, they may not have 3 7-footers, but I mean, their wing play is just outstanding. Um, Brown is coming into his own. as a superstar. Jason Tatum, um, I believe I'm not gonna say either one is a superstar, but I think they're just at that star level, not superstar, but star level. Jason Tatum is a marksman, um, and the guy that I hate the most on that team is Marcus Smart. But you gotta love him if you're a fan of that team or if you're a fan of basketball. I think he flops too much. I think he's a rah rah guy, but at the end of the day, I think he's the pulse of that team. Um, so I think Boston probably presents the bigger hurdle um, from a talent perspective, but I think the Miami Heat resembles a lot of what the Toronto Raptors were last year, which is a team. Um, each night, you don't know who's going to beat you. Somebody's stepping up. And I think that is scarier than anything. But at the end of the day, I would love to see the Miami Heat go against the Lakers, and I'm still picking the Lakers. Um, it makes me a little nervous just because Jimmy Butler is a dog, DAWG, dog. Um, he's I don't know he's got that it factor. Um, I don't know if you guys know his story, but you know, being homeless and getting a scholarship, ended up getting scholarship for Marquette, and just his journey alone.
Yeah, he's a
There was a
scrapper.
stat that I, yeah, there was a stat that I saw, man. Um, Jimmy Butler, when he's with a team, improves the team. When he leaves the team, they don't do quite as good. The Chicago Bulls, the Minnesota Timberwolves, and the 76ers. The 76ers made it further than they had made it in the playoffs in a very long time uh, with Jimmy Butler. And then without him, you see what happened this year. But I think he's just that dog, and
And
he
he's gonna
expects
push
people to
you.
work. Yeah. So I think that's dangerous. But I mean, let's be honest. I mean, skill wise, the Lakers are probably the best team, hands down. No questions about it left in the playoffs. But we all know when you got a dog on your side or you playing as a team, you can be the best, but you still can be beat. So I'm still rolling with the Lakers. I think it's fantastic for the NBA to have the Lakers a part of it. And I think it doesn't matter what you get in the finals because you're going to get Boston, who, let's be honest, one of the more popular teams. Or you get the Miami Heat with the intrigue of that's where LeBron James came. And can Jimmy Butler win one without the big three in Miami? So I'm still picking the Lakers out. Dante, I don't know if you want to go next, or do you need
Yeah, I
to?
go.
Okay, I didn't know if you wanted to wipe some tears from your eyes, remembering that Florida State lost. So I was gonna let Fabe go if that's the case. I know, man. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I didn't even want him to beat you that bad. I'm sorry, man. It's all love, my brother.
It is okay. It's okay. That's all. It's okay. We'll be okay. We'll be okay. Anyways, my thoughts on the Lakers. I thought that they were going to go to at least a game six, maybe seven with the Nuggets, because the Nuggets they just for whatever reason, man, they just started balling. Coming down twice, down 3-1 and come back and winning, and I just felt like they had caught fire at the and I just like, man, this is gonna be a battle for the Lakers, but the Lakers they just never let up. They just kept going at them every time, and they prevailed. So uh, I think it was definitely a hard fought series, but the better team won. So I'm definitely looking forward to seeing them play. Um, and I think it's going to be Miami, man. Miami just man, I think I said it earlier when we first started the podcast and we were talking about basketball, and I said that Miami is one of those teams that you got to look out for that a lot of people sleeping on them, and I think they're showing that now because they were coming in hot before the pandemic happened, and then they kind of just picked up, and people still kind of like, it's just the Miami Heat without LeBron, without Dwayne Wade, without Bosh. So like it's just kind of like, it's just Miami. Um, but those boys balling out there, man. So I'm excited to see what they're gonna do. But yeah, I definitely got them beating Boston tonight, closing the series up, and getting ready to start the finals, playing against the Lakers. Fade.
Um, I definitely agree that it's pretty much going to be the Lakers winning it all. To me, it doesn't really matter who's coming from the East. Period. I agree with Mr. Steven Arson in the chat, who said he loves underdogs, but LeBron needs the ring for his legacy. I completely agree. I feel like it's just destiny with everything that went on this year, and you know that the Lakers and the world lost Kobe Bryant. So I feel it would just be a great close on the season and on the year to have the Lakers win the ring. Um, I would I would say I think it would be a better story to see Miami in the championship, as you alluded to, Jarrell. You have the Pat Riley and stuff like that, and I think it would be great to just see Jimmy Butler playing on a big stage like that because I believe he'd probably show up and show out. And I think it's great too if Jimmy Butler's on that big of a stage because more people will probably hear about his story because I think that's a great story for people to hear and be told kind of a rags to riches story in the sense that just don't give up. The man just didn't give up and he just fought and scrapped and he still has that mentality. Like you can tell he still has that mentality that he's poor, that he's struggling, and I'm out here fighting. And it's amazing because I think people don't know how to handle that. That's why he, causes trouble with his previous teams. But that's him. You sign him to your team, at least you know what you're getting. That's what I would appreciate
Yep.
as an owner. I know what I'm getting if I'm signing Jimmy Butler. So somebody who's gonna come in and push everybody around. It don't matter. You could be the best. Somebody could say this is the best player in the league. Jimmy Butler's still gonna step to your face and say, "Yo, that ain't good enough. Let's go."
Well, Fabe, I like to. I mean, you literally opened up what I would say is like now Boston may not make it, but you opened up something that I didn't even think about. It is Kobe. And you think about the Lakers and what was one of the biggest rivalries. Magic and Bird.
Yeah.
Lakers and Celtic. So if the Lakers, I mean, if Boston can somehow come out of this, um, it'll be amazing. I also want to give out a shout out to Steve Harrison for tuning in tonight. So, Fabe, I heard you call his name. It's awesome. One of my good friends growing up, man. So appreciate the
Oh,
love.
okay. That's what's up.
So hey, if you guys all done, I did have one other question. So, Austin and Miami, who did you guys think would give the best game to the Lakers? I know you kind of talked about it a little bit, Jarrell, when you were going through your spill. But just in case if somebody missed it.
Man, it's it, it's hard to definitively say, but I would say the Celtics would give I shouldn't say him as it's just LeBron, but would give the Lakers the biggest problem. And really the reason is the Boston team, that core, has been together for a nice good period of time. And if you remember, everywhere LeBron was in the East, he had the Boston Celtics. So I think Jason Tatum, Brown, Marcus Smart, they gave him a good run when he
Mm-hmm.
was with the Cavs the last time when they were making all those runs. They just couldn't finish it out. So I think they might feel they got some unfinished business, and they've played against LeBron before. Where I think when you look at the Heat, you know, outside of their veterans, I can't say Jimmy Butler has a rivalry with um, LeBron James. So I think that for sure, grit wise, you might get a little bit more out of the Celtics because I think they really, really want to show that they can beat LeBron. They couldn't do it when he was in the East. I think they want to do it now he's in the West for the chip.
I can agree with that. Yeah, I pretty much agree with all those points there.
Okay, I'm opposite of you guys. You know, the Patriot fans. Um, and of course, you guys would go with Boston because you guys are Patriot fans, so that makes sense. I would go with Miami, and this is the reason why. I think that Miami just has a better team nucleus. They play the ball.
True.
They play unselfishly. Like for instance, you have uh, Smart, trying to beat up the locker room, because they wasn't playing the best, and I think sometimes that is needed. You do need to somebody face sometimes from here and there. But at the same time, that game, I don't remember him going off for like 50 points. Like I don't remember him doing nothing crazy. Um, and so just looking the Miami team, I just think that they are that's what you call a team. They're
True.
unselfish. They have more people that can come off the bench. I think that they will give the Lakers a trouble because I look at the Lakers, like they definitely got some depth, from Rondo, and then they do got them two big 7-footers. Um, but I think with them having Iguodala team, and he was the last team to beat LeBron in the championship, and I know he's gonna come with some wisdom with him being older, being a vet. He gonna come in there and he's gonna be able to give the boys wisdom. And then I know you got your boy, the young boy, the rookie.
Tyler.
He's gonna, yeah, Tyler. He getting a lot of minutes, but he's a rookie, and I know a lot of people gonna be like, "Oh man, this dude, he's not ready for this." But he played for Calipari. Like, I mean, so you already know he about that. He about that life. So I think that they have the better chance. And then Haslam as well. He played with LeBron, so he knows he has ins and outs about how to maybe be the best way to defend them. All that stuff. Pat
See?
Riley, he basically was coaching basically them for the entire time that he was there. So and you already know he gonna be in that locker room when the game plan come in and trying to help out. So I think they have a better chance of beating the Lakers because of all of that come together. And I see it that I really believe that they have a chance to beat the Lakers.
I agree.
Wow,
Okay.
interesting.
So with that being said, so let's go on to our next topic, man. This one here, man, please, if you in the chat, if you were watching live, even if you're not watching live, and please leave a comment because we want to see what you guys think of this question and who you would pick. So for the next question, could a woman play a man's sport? And if so, what sport would they play, or what sport do you think they could play?
Y'all,
Whoever wants to go
y'all want me
first.
to take it?
Go for it.
Oh, man. So I love this question. Nice little curveball. So how I see it as far as a female playing in a male sport, I think there's three sports, possibly four, that I would look at that I think realistically a female could play in a male league. I think basketball, I think baseball, I think hockey, and I think soccer. Hockey is the one I'm really on the fence about. Um, But I think when you're talking about skill, I'm a keep it real. Females have the higher skill level, I would say, when it comes to basketball. I mean, their shooting is on point. Again, now they may not be as powerful. They can't dunk. They can't do a lot of those things, but they are crafty. They're smart. As you can see, the U.S. women's soccer team is phenomenal. And I definitely think that some of those females could take it into the male sport. Again, I'm not saying that they could be toe to toe with them some, with speed and some things like that, but I think skill wise, they could do the same thing. Um, in basketball, I looking at everything as far as a male female perspective, the first thing that I want to put out there is I not saying a female can't be physical, but to have success, unfortunately, football drops off unless you're a kicker. Basically, because the physicality of these men. I'm not saying a woman can't be physical; she can't be strong. But when you're going up against, a 250-pound linebacker, benching 600, it becomes difficult. And not saying that you couldn't do it for a game, but to do it for 16 games, maybe playoffs, and do it year in and year out, the male body is built that way. So for me, in all, I'm gonna go with soccer as the sport that I believe that a female for sure could come in and play. Um, I think in the male sport there is some physicality to it, but I think that the female skill level, their foot skills, their passing skills, their shooting skills, um, for the most part, they're just on par with the men. When you're talking about the upper echelon of talent for soccer, so I would say for my money, soccer.
Interesting. Okay.
I'll let you go ahead, Mr. Parker.
Okay. I mean, soccer. I think that would be tough because I think it's a lot of running, and I don't know if they would be fast enough to keep up. Soccer, man, it's a that's a physical sport when it comes with the men's. But like you said, not saying that the women not physical, but I think to kind of take that pounding uh, through our game, I don't think they will be able to hold up. But in my opinion, I would say tennis. And the only reason I say that is because I think that it's set up better. Yes, you're gonna have some men that's gonna hit the ball faster. You're gonna have some men that's gonna be probably a little bit quicker. But if you when you playing a mind game in tennis and you know where to hit it at, how to hit it, I think that would translate a little bit better of a sport for a woman to play against a man. And then on top of that too, because now you can even use their speed and their power against them as well. So that's what I would say. I would say tennis. And then I look at Venus, like I'm like, man, Venus, Serena, yeah, they definitely could play against some men and beat them. I ain't saying that they will beat them every time, but definitely, what I would say 5 out of 10 times, I think they could probably get with them. If not, maybe even dominate some of the men as well. So that's what I would say. I would say tennis.
Interesting. So I would say baseball. I feel like that women could play baseball as a men's sport because I agree with some of the physicality that the other sports offer would be tough for women to maintain week in, week out, day in and day out, with the physicality of going exactly against other men. But I believe in baseball, there isn't a ton of physicality in the sense that maybe if they're coming running towards home plate or something like that and they got to run into the catcher or something like that. But I believe, like you alluded to, Jarrell, the skill and the quickness of women would be their advantage in a sport like that. Now, I'm not sure. I believe that women would be able to probably hit home runs. Maybe we would. I'm not sure if they would have the power to do a bunch of it, but I do believe that they would be able to do that. But I still believe, even if they were hitting balls and it was still landing inside the park, that they would still be able to get on base. They would still be able to steal bases and do things like that. And I know they do like softball and stuff like that, and they throw underhand. But man, some of them women are very powerful throwing that baseball, even underhand. So I believe if trained and developed, they definitely would be able to throw the ball like a league pro MLB player for sure.
And
Okay.
Fabe, it's funny that you say that because that is probably my second is baseball. Um, if you look at the game of softball and the game of baseball, the size of the diamond is different. You know, the size of the field is different, but the reaction speed that those girls have to the ball, from the mound to the plate is about the same, if not at times faster than an 80, 90 mile an hour pitch.
Hmm.
Um, the other part, Fabe, is I've had many friends that played softball, and you see those softball girls, they're built thighs thick.
Yeah, that's
Um,
yeah.
I mean, and in baseball, that's where all your power's coming from. So I think you're right. I think that they could definitely turn on the ball. Um, I think the only struggle that they would have is obviously the transition to a bit of a smaller ball. But again, you know, you're talking about arm speed there and some things you can work on. You can stick a female at second base in which she doesn't have to have the absolute big arm, or first base, and she's going to be more flexible than any guy first baseman. Her reaction's probably going to be just as good. So I think for sure those two positions they could definitely hold their own. But that was
Hmm.
my second choice, Fade. So good
Okay.
one.
Good job. All right. Hey, Fabe, go ahead and tell people about this special segment.
All right, guys. So this is the last segment of the show, and this is called Deep Thought. This is the part of the show that is for you guys, the viewers who are live in the show, where we take your questions and comments and we give you our deep thought. So, the first one, we're going to scroll up here. Miss Sylvia, when we first signed on, she asked for us to tell our thoughts about the Bucks.
Hey,
Well,
yeah.
I will let Dante. I'll let you go last because you can bring home the rear. I I think they have a fantastic opportunity to to be like Dante hopes and be the first team to play a Super Bowl at home. Um, I think I said it. I'm not necessarily worried about right now. I'm not worried about the first four games. I'm not worried about the first 8 games. I think as long as they're in it and they got an opportunity coming into the end to make the playoffs, that's all I really care about because Tom Brady is Tom Brady. We already know what he can do. I think he's hungry. I think that team is only going to get better. So I'm afraid of them because they're in the NFC and my Cowboys, even though they're 1-2, um, we got to deal with them. And Mike Evans looks like he's about to be a problem. He looks like he is about to be a problem. But that's my thoughts on the Tampa Bay, or should I say Tom Brady Buccaneers.
My thoughts
Nah,
are
you said it right.
I still don't like the Bucks. It don't matter. They're still trash. That's all I got. I I just don't like them. Just don't like them.
Wow. Wow. That's all right. You ain't getting no Super Bowl ticket. What do I think about the Bucks? Man, listen. Man, we are looking very, very good. I think as long as we the offensive line can keep Tom Brady off the ground, keep us healthy, I think we're gonna be a problem. I was watching the game today. Man, we got three great tight ends. We got three good running back. We got three good receivers. Like the offense of side of the ball is just it. This is the best offense I would say that we probably ever had since I've been a Bucks fan. Best offense, hands down. Um, Even when we had with Ward Dunn and Mike Oscar, we have no quarterback. So this is the best offense I have ever seen. Now, defensive wise, we have always had a great defense. And this defense that we have now, man, these boys are super hungry. They gritty, and they just like I'm sitting there watching the game, man. They run into the ball, hustling, having fun. That they're having fun out there, and you already know when you having fun and you playing football. Guess what? You gonna win some games. And the biggest thing is health. Stay
True.
available so that you can play. If everybody stay healthy, it's gonna be an awesome season. If we have some people getting injured, yeah, it's gonna be tough. But the biggest thing is keeping Tom Brady healthy, so we don't have to bring in our backup quarterback because I don't even know who our backup quarterback is. I just heard Tom was coming, and I said, It's touchdown Super Bowl time, baby. Touchdown Super Bowl time."
So we got a comment from Joe who says, "Now, fellas, you know that women can be physical and can outlast some men. Also, every woman has a different shape and can physically be stronger than most women. For instance, Muhammad Ali's daughter."
True. True. I don't want to downplay it. I mean, women are. I think women can be just as good. Like I said, in a lot of sports, I just think the toll on the body is where I go when you're talking about the physicality in sports. Some sports, um, I think women hockey players, which is why I put that in there. I think that they can probably skate right along with the men. Um, but I think taking and maybe this is a product of a lot of women's sports. I feel like women's sports, they hold them back. They can't be quite as physical. They don't allow them to be physical, um, which I would be frustrated with. Why can a guy sport, in basketball be super physical, but, you get a technical super quick if you're a female and you show a little bit of aggression. Um, so maybe that takes that part out, but I know banging body on body, that takes a toll on the body. And, I think a man's body is built for that. That's why I say it, physicality of a sport really plays into whether or not a female can not just play, but because anybody can play one game, right? We can throw somebody in there for one game of any sport and somebody can play. But if you're talking about playing a sport with longevity, you got to be able to deal with that.
Interesting, interesting. Did you have anything with that,
True, man.
Dante?
Um, nah, man. I think Jarrell said it best. This is the reason why I brought the question up because I wanted to kind of see and engage our audience. But it's a tough one because I think that for the most part, women can pretty much do almost everything a man can do. Um, but there are some things that it is still just a man's thing. Like, there's just some things that women just can't do. Like, or they don't want to have to do because it's things that it's just like that. And when it comes to sports, like, man, hey, I love them, but I don't see them standing there looking up for a punt, and you got somebody that's 6'2", 225 running a 4-2 running straight at you, and you about to get hit. Like, hey, like most men couldn't even handle that. But not saying that women couldn't. a woman can't, but it's just for me, in my opinion, like when it comes to like definitely football, it's that's hard pressed. I remember playing football with a girl when I was in playing Little League, and she played tight end. Um, she was okay, but hey, when they came to high school, she wasn't suited up with no manatee. Nah, hey, she wouldn't have played basketball or something. It just got too real. But there are some things that women can do, and that's why I said tennis. I think tennis is probably the ideal sport. Maybe even golf. Um, even though golf, you have that issue with maybe the woman being a little bit weaker, so she can't hit the ball as far. But maybe that's another sport that a man can play, or a woman can play against. Even bowling, that's probably maybe the best in my opinion. Probably, I didn't even really think about it, but bowling the best because um, you just got knocked down the pins. So it doesn't even matter on your strength. You just got to hit the ball at the right spot. I mean, the pins at the right spot. So that's probably, now thinking about it, that's probably the best sport that you could put a woman versus a man in, and the woman could dominate in that sport.
Wow, Dante, you brought up golf. I'm going to change my answer. I think golf is probably the sport that a woman could play. Because you're right. Now, a woman may not be as powerful, but what you got to understand is, or what I believe, loving golf as I do, um, seeing you can hit the ball. The yardage is 500 yards. It doesn't matter if I hit, you know, 2 yards, 2 yards. I'm sorry, 200 yards, 200 yards, 100 yards, and one putt, and I'm in. Um, that is where I think they can make up because you're right. They may not be able to bomb the ball 350 yards, but when you think about it, that green, which is, 400 yards away, it doesn't matter how you get there. It matters what you do once you get on there. And I think putting, a female can do just as well as a man, no matter, what you're doing. I think, uh, for sure, golf is probably the number one. I know there's been some women that have tried, um, and didn't fare so well. But I think on a consistent basis, if a female played in the male tournament and got used to how the holes are set up, um, you know, the difficulty will change. And I think that they could upgrade their skill level because I think the courses for a senior tour, the PGA tour, and the ladies tour are all totally different. Um, so I think for sure if they practice on a male course, I think that they for sure could have the ability to play with the men.
Hey, Faith, do you have
So,
anything?
no. But Joe brought up, what about MMA? Women do that, and that is taxing on the body.
Okay,
And
I'll
Don,
go with this one. Before I go there, this is what I would say. I would say the other sport that I would say that they could definitely do good in and beat people, and I'm speaking from experience. My wife beat me in shooting. So marks being a marksman, the competition. Yeah, she beat me. Yeah, I don't know how she did it. I think she was. I think she was. I think she was flirting with me while I was trying to shoot or something. I don't know. She beat me though. She probably gonna say. But yeah, and from what I heard is women they have a better aim and they shoot better. So that if not golf, that will probably be the number one sport I probably would say. As far as that, when it goes to the MMA, the ultimate fighting and stuff like that, yes, that is very taxing on the body. However, they're fighting against women. Um, when Fabe and I was in Grambling State, I seen some women and some. I'm like, dang, yeah. If you tried to like be like, stop, they probably would knock you out. However, 9 times out of 10, men are taught not to hit women. So I can't that sport. I definitely could not see. a man and a woman going at it in the octagon, because that would be just
I
that would
wouldn't
go
feel
against
right.
all. Like I wouldn't even want to see that. Like yeah, yeah, they wouldn't make no money because I wouldn't want to see that. But yeah, yeah, the average person, yeah. If I got in there, yeah, she probably get me. If you talking about somebody like Bones Drew, Bones Jones, like nah. I mean, we seen how what happened to Ronda Rousey when she was all the way up here. Nobody can't beat me, and then she got knocked out, and I mean, I felt bad for her, but she wanted to not even live.
Yeah, she
She
went
was
through a
just
deep depression. She got
so.
in her mind. She said it, bro. She built herself up because everybody was praising her so much, and she was in the movies and doing this, and Snapchat I think just got popular. Her matches were shorter than Snapchat. She thought of herself as a
Yeah.
god. She literally
Yep.
thought of herself as a god, and I think
um.
she got what she needed at that time is to be brought down.
Exactly.
That medicine.
And if if her matches was that long, you put a man in the ring with a woman, oh my gosh, it's gonna be even shorter.
I, and so Dante, obviously, they got weight classes and things like that. Um, I think what we're talking about is um, the whole, because in everything, I think that there are some special cases where a female for sure, could ball out, and I think it's Amanda Nunez. I think for she'd probably be a super featherweight. Um, I definitely think that she could um, stick with somebody for a match. But one, it'd be weird to watch. Um, and then I think it was Chris Cyborg. Um, I think when they did her punching power, she was up there with a lot of the men as far as punching power. Now again, that's punching power. We don't know what she would take as far as punching power. Um, but I think there's always special
Hey, Drew,
cases.
your mic messing up.
Sorry about that. I think there's always special cases that we can talk about when it comes to a female being able to make it in a man's sport. But I think as a whole, it'd be hard for MMA. Nah, nah.
Yeah, that's a tough one, Joe.
Fabe, we got anything else?
It don't look like it. We got somebody, Mlek from Twitch, who's asking some silly questions, but yeah.
Enlighten us. What's one of the questions?
Why black people's palms are lighter? I don't, I don't know.
Oh gosh.
Mm.
Yo.
I'm just gonna say that that's not sports related, and we're not even gonna talk about that on here.
you know, you have to love the
Oh
internet,
god.
man. We appreciate you, Mlek, for stopping by the channel. Definitely appreciate it.
Yeah,
Appreciate the view.
definitely. Appreciate you.
Google might have your answer. Google literally answers everything. So
Absolutely.
Google actually might be able to inform you of your deep question there. We apologize that we don't have an answer for you.
Wow. I love it.
I mean, he also asked a good question earlier. He said, "Is Trump a Chinese spy or a Chinese agent?" He asks, "Is Biden pedo bear?" Um, is Merkel man? I don't know who Merkel is. I don't. What is that?
I don't know. That beats
Oh,
me.
Okay. Okay.
yeah.
I can't. I can't. Uh, I'm, I'm sorry. This is not a political show. This is a sports show. But again, we do appreciate anybody who comes to the channel. It's very appreciative. But I would rather stick to sports. I did not get into this to get very political.
Yeah. Oh, he also asked, why does Dante look so angry? So.
I would tell you that. I would tell you why. Because yesterday, my team, Florida State, played against Miami Dolphins, and we got beat 52-10. That's why I'm upset. That's why I'm angry. This was nonsense. We shouldn't have been beaten that bad. That game should have been a lot closer. However, we don't have the people, we don't have the athletes, and we don't have. We doesn't good. So that's why I'm angry.
There you go,
So,
Intellect.
so Dante, can I then follow up with a question?
Go ahead.
Should you or should you not have hired Deion Sanders when you had the opportunity?
Interesting.
When
Interesting.
when he wanted to come home,
Mm,
when he wanted to come home.
so to be honest, I wish we would have just kept Taggart.
No, no, no. I'm not asking that. When you fired Taggart, when you let go of Taggart, and Deion Sanders said that he was interested in the job.
To be honest, I would have. Yeah, absolutely. And the reason why I say that is because now you have a legend, probably the best corner to ever play in the game, um, a Hall of Famer. He has a lot of pull. So if you want recruits to come, hey, you want to win, put Dion in. That's what I would have been saying. You want to win, put Dion in, and I guarantee, like it would have been cats coming from out of the wazoo to come to Florida State just because they wanted to be in his presence. They like his swag, and you know where that swag came from? It ain't come from no Miami, baby. It ain't come on you. It came straight from Tallahassee. Yes, sir. Yeah. And Miami definitely was they was what your boy Chris Brown say? They was the dripping heat. Yes, I believe that's it. Yes. So Dion came to Florida State. He had the drip. Miami, they was in heat. Yeah, that's how it is, and they just took over and they won some stuff and all that. But I think if they would have got Deion Sanders, I think it would have been. I think it still would have been what it is now, because they're having to go through that growing process, and that's why I said I wish they would have kept Taggart because I think this year would have been a much better year because now you have a coach that's been there for 3 seasons. He's starting to get the people that he wants. He has his offense in plan. He has his defense in plan, and now the team is just much closer. But now you bring in somebody and this whole COVID thing happens, like the team ain't no closer than what they were when Tiger got there.
And and Dante, I think that's exactly where I was. What I would say. Now listen, I don't like Florida State at all, but Deion Sanders is my favorite guy of all time. And what I'm gonna say is, when you have Deion Sanders, a legend at your school, wanting to come back to coach, how much worse could he do than what you're doing now or where you were at? If you felt Willie Taggart wasn't the answer, don't you think, like you said, all the accolades that he has, don't you think that that would be tantalizing to a lot of recruits? Um, if it was me and it's like, yo, I'm about to be, coached by Deion Sanders. If I'm on the defensive side, I'm like, oh yes. The ties that he has to the league. Um, I think just the person that he is. And then I think if I know people don't pay attention, and I know it's Texas, and but since his son has been down in Texas, they've done fantastic. I think they've won a state championship every year. And again, Texas is football, and this is not a school that is known. This was a charter school that was started up, and yes, you can recruit players, but at the end of the day, I think that alone shows me that he has something when it comes to coaching. I don't understand. I didn't even know this until he got hired over at Jackson State. I had no clue that he wanted to be the coach. I'm happy because I think that Miami Florida State rivalry would be something because you talking about the ultimate swag and look good, play good, and he'd have Florida State in a different mindset.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And I
Yeah,
agree. I
that would have
think
been.
anywhere he would have went, I'm definitely glad he didn't go to Florida State. Forget them. But anywhere he goes, I think he'll be a success because if you have, you got your coach at Alabama and you got Pete or not Pete, I was about to say Pete Carroll, but USC and all these great schools, right? So yeah, they could get you to the league and show you how and do this, but man, to have somebody who was a legend and a Hall of Fame in the league and like you guys said has those ties, he can speak to players and say, "Look, this is what you're going to experience. This is how it's going to be, and I can help you not only get there, but I can guide you through just that total change that's going to happen being a professional NFL player." No other coach at Alabama, USC, none of them can do that like he can. So I
Oh
think that's
yeah.
a big selling point.
I man, listen. When we was in high school, my defensive back coach played on the other side of Deion Sanders, and knowing that he went to Florida State, he played with Deion, he went to the league. Just hearing that kind of stuff, it made me listen just a little bit more than what I probably normally would have listened to a coach. And he was definitely able to give me a lot of insights on how to play the position to make me a better player. And so definitely, man, if I had what Novak, I believe his name is, comes in and sits on my couch and like, hey, what you going for to say? I'm like, oh, okay, yeah. Uh, Clemson want me to come too. But if I had Deion Sanders come and sit on my couch and be like, yo, we want you at Florida State, where the paperwork at? I'm trying to sign right now because I know that it's going to be a great experience, and it's going to get me to where I want to be at, and I know he's going to be able to tell me and show me stuff that other cats don't about because they never played that position and all that stuff. So um, yeah, I definitely would be like, yeah, I'm going to Florida State.
Well, I'm gonna give a live cut in real quick. Miami's up 116 to 102. Um, so it looks like it's over, and the Miami Heat is going on.
Wow.
Hey, Lakers, look out, boy! Lakers, look out! Duck LeBron, that boy coming.
Dog fight. Arf.
All right. Well, I'm gonna wrap this thing up if y'all boys don't have anything else.
Yeah, man. I want to appreciate all those that watch. And I know if anybody catches this on YouTube after we're done, man, we appreciate you stopping by the page. Hit the like button, subscribe, hit the bell so you know when we come on. We're coming to you live, man. Just about every week, Sunday at 9 p.m. We gonna come bringing it. We gonna have some fun. So we just appreciate all the support. And Dante, I'm giving you emotional support this week, man. I'm sorry.
Aha, aha, aha.
All right, everybody. And that wraps up this week episode. Like we said, thank you guys for tuning in, and we will catch you next week.
On the flip side.
Peace.
Gone.